Hi, and welcome to Section 5, Accessibility, working with screen reader, layout attributes, and configuring screen reader output. In this section, we're going to learn how to set up the Android emulator for developing with screen reader and Talkback services, how to use layout attributes to add specific accessibility support to your application, how to work with accessibility pane titles and accessibility headings, and last, how to configure screen reader output so that not all of your views are always read to the user. Setting up the emulator. So before we can get started on working and developing applications supporting Android accessibility services, we of course have to set up a testing environment with an Android emulator that actually allows us to activate Talkback services. In case you're working with an actual physical device, this is not going to be an issue for you and you can just skip over to the next step. In case you don't have access to a physical device, you have to set up an Android emulator for testing accessibility services, and we're going to do that right now. So as a first step, open the Android Virtual Device Manager and click the button down below here to create a new virtual device. And what's very important here now is when it comes to choosing a device definition is that we choose a definition that actually has Google Play services pre-installed, which is indicated by this Play Store symbol right here. And I'm going to choose the Pixel 2 device definition, which again, indicated by the Play Store symbol, has Google Play services pre-installed, which is what we need for testing accessibility services. Then I'm clicking the next button where I choose my system image. I'm going to choose the Android Pie system image with Google Play services pre-installed. In case you haven't downloaded the system image yet, this step might take a while for you depending on your connection speed before you can actually continue to the next step. In the last step here, we just again verify our configuration and then we can click on the Finish button down below here. I'm not going to click Finish. I'm going to click Cancel right now because I have already set up a virtual device and I don't need a second one. So I'm going to cancel here, which returns me to the list of my virtual devices, and you can see that I have already created a Pixel 2 running Android 9 with Play services installed. And in order to launch that device, we can just click the Launch button on the right hand side here. Now launching this emulator and heading over to it, we can see that I have a brand new emulator installed. What I've done so far is I have already logged in to my Google account, which is what you're going to need to install accessibility services. So before doing anything further, we have to go to Settings and then scroll down to the Accessibility Settings section. And in here we can see that in the Screen Reader section, there is no Google Talkback available right now, which is what we need for developing. So in order to get Google Talkback in here, we go back to the Google Play Store, which is here, and we're going to search for accessibility services. So I'm just going to click the suggestion here, searching for accessibility services, and what we have to do is install the Android Accessibility Suite, which includes Google Talkback and other accessibility stuff. So I'm clicking Install here, which downloads and installs the Accessibility Suite. Should just take a couple of seconds, and then if we head back to our Settings app now, and to the Accessibility section, we should see that now there is Google Talkback available in my accessibility settings. So I'm going to click that here right now, and before actually enabling it, we have to do some configuration, which we can do in the Talkback settings here. going into settings and then scrolling down to a section called developer settings. And in here we can configure certain things for developing with Google Talkback. And since you're probably not going to be able to hear the vocal output of Google Talkback, I'm going to enable display speech output right here, which means that everything that is basically vocally read out to you by Google Talkback is also visible as a toast message down here on the screen. So now heading back here, and now what we can do is we click this switch right here, or we flip this switch and enable Google Talkback services. What Talkback needs is a couple of permissions, obviously, because it has to observe your actions and stuff like that in order to be able to read them out to you. So we're going to give consent here, and now Google Talkback services is available, and we can already see that it's actually talking to us, and whatever it says is shown down here in this toast message like box.